Hey everybody, well this video shouldn't be too long. I'm sitting here on my webcam. Uh, I saw something interesting on Facebook yesterday and they was talking about, these questions that they have, and they had this one thing on there, do you remember when? And if you're in my age group, you probably remember some of these things. Um, do you remember when you used to use brown paper bags as book covers? We used to make them when I was in well, it wasn't even middle school when I was in school. It was junior high school. In junior high and high school, we would take a brown paper bag and make it to where you put it over your books, and then you write the subject on the book, or you could just draw on it or do whatever you wanted to. And kids would not do that today. What about a swing set? Did you ever have a swing set? I never had one, but my kids had one like this, where if you'd swing real high, that part of the legs would come up off the ground. And I remember my kids would do that, and I'd be telling them, don't y'all swing so high. And so, yeah, they had one like that. What about a cassette recorder? Did you ever record yourself on a cassette recorder singing along to music, or play your records, an old 45 on the record player? And or how about waiting for your favorite song to come on the radio and then hitting record on the tape recorder and recording that on tape so you could have that song, you wouldn't have to go out and buy it. My goodness, how technology has changed, huh? How about, let's see, catching lightning bugs outside, going outside, and that kind of fits in with playing outside after dark. We used to play outside after dark. Sometimes we'd get up in the mornings and stay outside all day long, played after dark. We would play in the road. We would play kickball, and I remember me and my brother played kickball one time, but I never could get. He was so quick that I never could catch him when me and him playing. Sometimes it's just the two of us, and so he would tell me, "Well, if you want to play, uh, I'll throw the ball to you all the time." So he would throw the ball to me, and I'd run from base to base. Of course, he got me out a lot, but it was fun. It was something to do. And catching lightning bugs after dark. And when I was young, lightning bugs used to be everywhere. I mean, the whole outside would be dark and look like diamonds. There were so many lightning bugs. And you just run up and catch them and catch them and catch them. And you just don't see lightning bugs anymore. Now, if I was to go outside and see a lightning bug, I would think, wow, there's a lightning bug. So they must be coming extinct. Boom boxes. You remember the boom boxes? I remember when I first moved down here to Greensboro in '94, you would see people walking up and down the roads with these great big boom boxes on their shoulders with their music blasting and such. And I know I got my husband a boom box for his birthday one year. They play some good music, but now you don't even need those anymore. Just something real little, does the same thing. Hopscotch. How many of you played hopscotch when you were young? I used to love to play hopscotch. We would take a piece of chalk and draw the hopscotch on our sidewalk outside the house and play hopscotch. Freeze tag, dodgeball, Red Rover, send Cindy right over. Remember Red Rover? How about Mother May I? And Mother May I? No, you may not. That was a fun game. Paper dolls. I used to love paper dolls. But I remember one time my mom bought my sister like these Barbie paper dolls or something equivalent to that, and bought me Chatty Cathy paper dolls. And I didn't want Chatty Cathy. But anyway, I played with them anyway. Oh, and another paper doll she bought me one time was the Beverly Hillbillies. I ain't never gonna forget that. I didn't want the Beverly Hillbillies paper dolls. But anyway, I played with them anyway. And I know me and my sister used to take, like the Spiegel catalog. We used to get a Spiegel catalog. And when Mom would be done ordering our school clothes and stuff, she would let me and my sister have the catalog. And we would take and cut the models out of the catalog and make our own paper dolls. And that was fun. Put them in a shoebox, and we could play with them for hours. The thing on here about, it said, you only backtopped your parents once, and that was it. That's all it took. You backtalked them once. You knew better than to do it a second time. That's what needs to happen today. That's the way I raised my kids. And but anyway, there was a whole list of things on there. Do you remember when? Uh, and back then too, you could ride your bicycle down the street and you didn't have to have a helmet. You didn't require a helmet. I don't even think then that seatbelts were required. And I'm not sure if they're mandatory in Virginia where I'm from. I don't know if they are, or if they've changed that over the years. I know when I used to live out there, they weren't mandatory, and they were here, and they still are here. I was pulled over one time. This was back in the late 90s for not wearing a seatbelt, and I got a ticket for that, but it didn't go against my driving record because the police officer said it was a non-moving violation. That's the only time I've ever been pulled over by the law. And I paid that ticket. I think I came home, my husband wrote a check out for that ticket and put it in the mail the next day. And I got that paid so I didn't have to go to court or anything. And that was the only time that I ever had any kind of ticket. Remember when I can remember too when you used to ride your bicycles and people, kids would ride on the handlebars of people's bicycles. Now you can't do that because if you're caught doing that, then you might go to jail for child neglect or abuse or whatever. These days, you never know. I wrote some of these down. Anyway, there was a whole bunch of them, and there's like 100 and some of them, so I'll gather some more, and then I'll come back and do some more. But what do you remember about your childhood that's no longer today's thing? They talk about children becoming so obese today. It has nothing to do with the fast food restaurants. It has to do with technology. They're not going outside. They're not doing like we did when we were young. They're sitting in front of the games and the computer, where I am now. But anyway, well, that's all I got to talk about now. And until next time, bye-bye.